Hey tubers and gamers, he's back and it's another pickup video, and today in the background, first time ever, or just about first time ever, I've got the old wife in a... Hello. Yes, hello. So if you hear any whiny noises in the background, it'll be her or the cats. Anyway, without further delay, let's get into the pickups. What have we got? I might do a selection of two, which I'm sure my wife will agree would be two. Yeah, that's about right too. Got some vinyl and also a rare Star Wars pickup. Vintage Star Wars figure. I'm gonna lift this up if people who knows their vintage Star Wars may recognise this figure. Yes, it's the Yak face, which is technically it's a very rare Kenner figure. I say Kenner, it's actually made by Hasbro because it didn't get released in the States. It got released in Europe and Canada, and basically it was like one of the last unique Power of the Force figures, which is a range of figures that came after the movies. So it's obviously carded figures for Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And for those carded figures, there were 81 figures in total, with 2 figures that was exclusive to America, and in the States with 2 Ewok characters. In Europe, we did not get those last 2 81, so we only got 79 figures, we didn't get the 81. So technically, the others, they've released 17 original figures after that, including the 2 Ewoks. So basically, in America, there's 15 unique figures. But in Europe, and there were 17, so I'm not going to go for those, because basically to get those other 15 figures, so I've got the 2 Ewoks anyway, because they were carded for Return of the Jedi, so technically I've stopped there. But I did wanted to get one of the Power of Force figures, which is this one, the last one that they produced, which is one of the most hardest ones to get. It comes with his staff. Now, sometimes this figure was packaged without the staff, so it's weird. Some places it was and sometimes it wasn't. The staff is the exact same staff as another figure called Nikto, which is a much easier figure to get. So the trick is, instead of looking for a Yak face staff to buy, original, you look for a Nikto staff, because it's the same staff it is. And that's what I did. I got a Nikto figure with a staff, original staff, for 15 quid. So I used the staff and with this figure, and still got the figure up with my loose Kenner figures. So that would do for that, because people on eBay are charging about £35 just for that weapon alone. They are. So to get that this way, in effect, I got it for nothing. The weapon. The case was about £13 off eBay, and yeah, I think I got a really good deal. If you look on eBay, it's usually about the 300 to 450 mark the figure goes for, but I managed to was watching one and the guy gave me an offer of 250, which I'm going to spread over 6 months, so that's how I've done it. I've got that figure that way. So a very nice little vintage Star Wars collectible. Well, you're not, well, when I'm gone you'll be selling it anyway, so I don't know what you're moaning for. Well, anyway, what else? Oh, yeah, vinyl records. What we got? I've had these for a while, but I wanted to get them out and show you guys so I can put them away where they belong in the collection. So I've got some vinyls for gaming related ones. Again, these are released by that publisher, what they called again, that publisher? Laced Games, that's it. So I've got these on the website. So I've got the original Borderlands soundtrack. I love the Borderlands series of games, so I'm pleased to have the first one. They did a side game called Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which I really enjoyed. It's based on Dungeons and Dragons. So again, I've got the soundtrack for that. And I had to, one of my favourite other IPs, I got the soundtrack to Gears of War original, so I got that too. And I had to get the soundtrack for original Halo 2. There is like a box set of this with soundtrack to the for all the games, but That's mighty pricey, and to be honest, the first soundtrack is the best one to have. That would do me nice. I do have the soundtracks on CD anyway, so if I was desperate to listen to music, I can do it that way, but it's nice to have some uncommon gaming vinyl, so that's good. Okie dokie. Got some more gaming related, specifically hardware. I've got a piece of I got this Dreamcast VMU that CX had for, it was about a tenner, but it's for a sort of transparent blue, so I don't have one this colour, and it comes with a little lid thing, which is nice because usually often they're missing those are. So yeah, for 10 I thought, yep, I have that. No brainer there. For the Evercade, the first Neo Geo arcade collection, and yeah, it's got King of Fighters, Metal Slug, Shock Troopers, Magician Lord, Sengoku, and Ironclad. So to get you know, a licensed copy of Ironclad, that's a pretty cheap way of doing it, because it's a pretty expensive game otherwise. And I had the Neo Geo Super Pocket, but I thought I've been wanting to get a Capcom one, and someone was saying this used quite cheaply, about £40. Box is not perfect condition, but to be honest, it's okay. Right, on a 7800, a re-release. I say re-release. I don't know if I don't think it's got a proper 7200 release, but anyway, it's on there 7800. It's for Tiger Heli, new release by Atari. So yeah, have to have that. We enjoy the Tiger Heli games, even though they're really tough. Also, while we're on sort of old school gaming, if I show this, people recognise what it is. Of course you do. You say, oh, it's Goonies, and it's the first Goonies game on the Famicom, which didn't get an NES release. And arguably this is probably one of the better of the two games, because there was a Goonies 2 that did get a NES release. I got the original cart, but I got it in a universal case. It's not a super expensive game to get boxed and complete, but to be honest, I had a spare universal case, so I thought I'd use it for that game, so that's what I did. So I got both the Goonies games, so that's pretty cool. On the original PlayStation, got this for a good price. It's these games have been re-released on the PS5, which I do need to get at some point. But we got Gradius Deluxe Pack, which has the first two Gradius games on the PlayStation. So I got this for a really good price, £40. It's a Japanese exclusive, but it's really nice to have that on the PlayStation. And I got a couple of new Dreamcast games. This is like a run and gun, like Rendering Rangers type game. It's called Rockatron, and these are all limited. This is number 344 out of 3,000 copies produced by Pixel Heart Games, so you get a nice proper Dreamcast blue case. And another game which is quite hard to get hold of. This is number 318 out of 1,000 copies, and it's the Gladmort limited edition game, which is kind of it's like a bit like Ghosts and Goblins, but it's more crossed with like Dungeons and Dragons and other type thing as well, really. But it's got some dry sense of humour in it. Again, it's really nice to get quality new games on a Dreamcast, so yeah, I thought I'd get those. Okay, it's all relatively modern stuff, so let's get the Switch games out of the way. We've got Lollipop Chainsaw. This is released by Clear River Games, so it's really nice to get a proper Western release of that. I have double dipped, I have got that on the PS5 too, but I really love this game, and this one's got all the DLC on. So I do already have that on the 360 and PS3. It's a really good game. Also released on this is Clear River as well. I can't remember now. No, it's Clear River. It's the Toe Plan Arcade Collection. Again, I've got the Volume 1 and 2, and these are must-have if you like the shooters like Tiger Heli, Flying Shark, Twin Cobra, Fire Shark, Outzone, Fixate, Dogian, Batsugan. Oh. Those games alone on other formats will cost a fortune. And you've got Slap Fight, Truxton, Hellfire, Twin Hawk, Zero Wing, Vinmama, never heard of that one, Truxton Toon, and Grindstormer. All those games are worth the ticket price of these alone. Really are. Really good to have those compilations. Talk about another compilation. I got the IGS Classic Arcade Collection, and this has got some good sort of beat 'em ups on it. But the one I really wanted was what's it called? Is it Knights of Valor? Identity Legend. I think that's no, Demon Front. That's the main one I wanted it for, which is very much inspired by Metal Slug. So that's the main reason to get this collection. But it's got about 6 other games on there as well. So we're glad to have that. Got this for a relatively good price. Paper Mario: The 2000 Year Door. I think that was about a £30 mark, which is quite good for first party Nintendo games. And also I got this for about £25. It's basically Assault Suit Falcon Declassified, which is basically Cybernator, but the uncensored version in English. So it's got I don't know what was actually censored. I don't know if it was like language or violence or whatever it was for the SNES, but this is obviously the I said the uncensored version of the game, so it's really cool to have. That wasn't a lot of money, about £25 mark. And that's all the Switch games. Yeah. Unfortunately, Switch games aren't dropping too much in price, even though I don't know. I'm on the fence about getting a Switch 2. I'm a bit anti getting one because there's not much. Well, there's a few good games to get out on it, but it's basically mostly re-releases, aren't they? But there's a few good first-party Nintendo games which I'd like to get at some point. But I think I'll probably hold off until they bring out a special edition of the Switch 2. Either an OLED model or one which has a fancy paint job or something. I'm not rushed for it anyway. My wife is actually getting well into a Switch, aren't you, Nick? You got a Switch Lite, haven't you?
Yeah.
So she's quite, she's got built a bit of a nice collection of about, I think you got about 20 old games, haven't you, Mum?
But yeah, about that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so you've done well. So she's getting into it, and to be honest, she plays the Switch more than I do. I'm so busy with PS5 still. Turning to other systems, we've got a few Xbox One games. I got this on other systems, so we've got Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. I've got that about a tenner. I think that's the same with Aliens Dark Descent. I do multi-dip on the Aliens games. Likewise with the King Kong games. Skull Island Rise of Kong, I got that for about 15. And this game I've already got, but it was Steelbook copy of Resident Evil. Resident Evil. Is it 8, The Village, and it is pristine. There's no damage to a gatefold sleeve, with Steelbook or anything. It was only about, I think it was about £12 or less, and so I couldn't say no to that at that price in CX. So I thought, even though it's the second copy I've got, I think I'll probably upgrade my other one, even though that's probably not much difference in terms of quality, but I just couldn't leave it on the shelf when it's basically in perfect condition. Okay, we got some PS4 games, PS5, and then some VR games to show you guys. Okay, firstly on the PS4, got the Steelbook copy of Elder Scrolls Online Imperial Edition. This was literally only about £2 or £3 in CEX. It is the PS4 copy, but this the Imperial Edition normally comes with a statue in a big box set, and I just all they had was the Steelbook on its own, which is probably just well because I've got no space for collector's set. So just to get the Steelbook on its own for about £3, I thought, yeah, I have that. Then on the PS4 we got Dead Island 2 Day 1 Edition. Again, these were all quite cheap games. SNK 2 the 40th Anniversary Collection. That wasn't cheap. I think I got it for about retail, but I've not seen it for a long while, so I wanted to get it before the price creeped up on that one. It being SNK. This game was been on my want list for a while, and again finally I saw it cheap. I think it was about a tenner. And it's Horizon Chase Turbo, a quite a fun arcadey racing game that people have been talking about for years. This one, Beta Fury City of the Wolves, the new game. I got this on the PS4 because I always try to get the modern games on PS4 if there's a choice. This because it also play on PS5. This was quite cheap. I think it's about a tenner mark. Atari the 50 the anniversary collection, so it's like another way of playing the games, with lots of tons and tons of extras, and it's got loads of games across multi Atari platforms. So not only a Jaguar, Lynx, 2600, 5200, 7800, 800, and arcade. It's it's supposed to be a highly recommended collection of the games. This game is a game that's it's like fantasy stroke horror, but the artwork looks phenomenal. I've just about got that out. And it's called Bramble the Mountain King. I've been wanting this for a long time, and I've not seen it, so I actually bought it and got it off eBay. It did cost a lot of money, but it's one of those games I reckon will be sought after at some point, even though collecting for PS4 is a tad difficult, because I say tad difficult, it's such a huge library, isn't it, really? So so I don't think, obviously not, I don't think anyone's going for a full set, but some people may go for a full set horror or whatever. Like I said, I think that's more horror fantasy as opposed to strictly horror, but the artwork does look beautiful, so I think that would be a game that people would be interested in. Likewise, this game too, Visions of Mana, part of the Mana series. Again, got this on the PS4. Got that for a fair price. This game's eluded me in the wild. I just bought a new copy of eBay for about £16, and I wanted to get it, but while I could, and it's when we released of Fahrenheit. This is a game that was first brought out on the PS2, I believe, and it was like remastered. Just a fun little Rayman type game. Rabbids Party, wasn't a lot. Again, this is a Sega game. It's been on my want list for ages, and so I just got it off eBay. It wasn't a lot of money, about £20, but I just wanted to get it. So I wasn't seeing it in the wild. I was waiting for it patiently, but I never saw it. And this one comes with 3 sticker sheets, so to get it complete it's probably hard. But it's supposed to be a really good Sega game. Secure Wars. It's supposed to be really good artwork, storyline and everything. Lego games, I collect all the Legos games, but this one's quite an original version of the Lego Marvel collection. It's got all 3 of the Lego Marvel games all in one disc, but they actually are on a disc as opposed to DLC, so I've got them as standalone games. But to get this collection with all 3, I thought it's something that may be less common in the future, let's say. Talk of less common games. This game is a game that's been creeping up in price, and it's supposed to be really highly rated. It's like a 2D Metroidvania run and gun type game, and it's Hunt Down. Also, again, all the game is actually on the disc, and this is Minecraft Season 2 Story Mode of Telltale Games. I collect all the Telltale games, and it's good to get a game on a disc because a lot of these games you can't actually download anymore or anything. Right, this one is a limited run release which took forever to coming out, but finally did, and it's a re-release of Rendering Ranger, and it's called Rendering Ranger Rewind, so obviously you have extra options on it. I do have like a special version of that released on the SNES, which is it's like a uncommon type bootleg type copy of it, because it's not an easy game to find on the SNES. Super expensive normally, so get it on the PS4, it's cool. PS5, this was like literally about £3. It's Skull Bones. I don't think there's any offline play, so no, there's no offline mode for that. So whether or not that'll be just a fancy placemat in the future, who knows? But it does look really good as a pirate game, so maybe I should try and do. I don't know. I'm reluctant to pay for PlayStation Plus or whatever it is to play online games. It's just like I don't know. I just won't get time to play it because I'm behind on the physical games as it is. Yep, Lollipop Chainsaw. You know, like I said, I double dipped on that. And like the top of the Toppan collections, I've got those on the PS5 too. This I had on the PS4, but on the PS5 it came out with this like nice, really fancy, almost like transparent, almost 3D-ish sleeve. It wasn't a lot of money, about a tenner mark, so I thought, yeah, I'll get that too. It's all brand new and sealed. And I do like Predator and Aliens, so I tend to multi-dip. Okay, I do have a first game of this, A Plague's Tale Requiem. It's supposed to be a really beautiful game. This I've already got on the PS5, but they had the deluxe edition for £6, so I thought this was a cheap little upgrade. I love Star Wars, so why not? Again, this game has finally come out. It's by Clear River Games. It's Bullet Hell Mamoru-kun Recurse. So this is based on the original game that was on the 360, released in Japan, which I do own. But it's really nice to have a modern version of it. So I do like my Bullet Hells, and especially of that era. Right, this is a nice open RPG. There's proper story mode and side missions, but my daughter played it, nearly got to the end, but she kind of got stuck and gave up on it, which is a shame. But it's Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora. She loves the movies. Right, I was going to get the standard edition on this for £18, but I saw that they had the limited edition, which was 32, which is a good price because normally it was 50 when it came out. And it's the remake of Soul Reaver, the first two games, and this is like a box set that comes out with a steel book, a soundtrack, and art book, and I do love a good steel book, and it doesn't take up too much space, so I thought, yeah, I'll go for that version. And again, I collect all the Silent Hill games, and Amazon are doing a release with the steel book, so I pre-ordered that. Silent Hill F, sort of set in is it pre-war or post-war Japan? So people aren't really saying it's a too fantastic game, but it is what it is. It's Silent Hill. Okay, PlayStation VR games. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I am going for a full set on for both VR1 and VR2. VR2 will be easier because there's fewer games. VR1, it's over 200 games, and I've got just about all of them. I've got all the European releases, but there's a few Japanese ones I was getting. There was one last American game which I had to get, which was Desperate Vladivostok, sort of sci-fi game. Got that from the States. Got that from VGP. And then there's a couple of Japanese exclusives. So we got Powerful Professional E-Baseball 2018 to 2019. and Powerful Professional eBaseball 2020 to 2021. There is another one which I've yet to get. Okay, on the PlayStation VR 2, there's we've got this game which from the States, and for the life of me I can't remember what it's called. It came out with a special limited sleeve, and it is C/VR New Dimensions. So it's some kind of racquetball type game for VR 2. Fantavision 22X. I think this Fantavision did originally come out on, was it PS2 I think, or some older system. Suicide Guy VR2, that's a UK one. Then we've got Badminton Time VR. That was cheap. And this comes with a nice little cardboard sleeve. Undead Citadel, more of a fantasy type game. That looks more interesting. Another unusual one, we've got PlayStation VR Humanity. This is like an American release. And finally, another American release that was dirt cheap when it was in stock, but it's out of stock everywhere, and it's really hard to get hold of physically. So I had to pay about 60 quid for this online. It is Captain Toonhead versus the Punks from Outer Space. It does look like a silly shoot 'em up type game. The VR2, but for the very full set, had to get that, had to pick that up. But if you see these guys in the States cheap, do pick it up, because it will be an easy one to get your money back on and more. Okay, that's it. That's all my pickups for the last few weeks. It's been a busy month. The family been on holiday to Rhodes and Greece, which was lovely. We had a lovely time, and we're doing okay on the whole. Things aren't bad. Things aren't too bad at the moment. Busy with work and everything else, but like everyone in this crazy world, we're just taking one week at a time and being kind to ourselves, which is what I recommend for everybody, really. And to all those people supporting the channel and watching and commenting, thank you very much, guys. There's some really nice people out in the YouTube world. Marathon Gamer Scott and Richard Ed and other people. You're stars in my book. So thank you again for supporting the channel and being in touch, and it's really nice to have decent people around us, really. But anyway, guys, you take care of yourselves, and until next time, bye.